Welcome to NFL Nexus. Today, we are diving deep into what is, no joke, one of the most high-stakes off-seasons for the Indianapolis Colts in recent memory. They are standing at a massive crossroads here in 2026, and you better believe the choices they make right now are going to shape this team for years to come. It is a giant game of chess, and we're going to break down every single move. Now, before we get into it, if you love these deep dives, do us a huge favor. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and most importantly, tell us what you think in the comments. We honestly love reading all your takes.
Okay, so let's just set the stage because you really need to feel the pressure here. This is not just another year, another offseason. The heat is on in Indianapolis, big time. I mean, this quote right here says it all. Jobs are literally on the line. After making the gut-wrenching calls to trade away our team captain and linebacker Zaire Franklin and your #1 receiver Michael Pittman Jr., the front office has basically ripped out the heart of this roster on purpose. Yeah, they cleared a ton of cap space, but they also left these enormous gaping holes. The clock is ticking, and there's absolutely no margin for error.
So, the big question is, how do you possibly fill those holes? Well, today we're going to explore the two main roads the Colts can go down. First up, they can go out and get some proven veterans. Or, second, they can embrace a full-on youth movement through the draft. We're going to put them head-to-head and then try to figure out the absolute best way to build this thing for 2026 and beyond.
Right, let's really dig into the problem here, because the Colts can't afford a single swing and a miss. We're not talking about finding a guy to come in on third down or, a solid backup. No. They need immediate, plug-and-play, day-one starters at some of the most important positions on the field. The trades they made, that wasn't just trimming the fat around the edges. It was like strategic amputation, and now they need to find some high-tech prosthetics to get this team running again, and fast.
And here they are, the three biggest vacancies on the team. When you trade Zaire Franklin, you're not just losing tackles on a stat sheet. You're losing the engine of your defense, the guy with the green dot on his helmet calling the plays. That is a massive void. Then you trade Michael Pittman Jr., and boom, your young quarterback just lost his 1,000-yard safety blanket. That can seriously mess with a QB's growth. And as if that wasn't enough, you let your starting safety Nick Cross walk in free agency. So now you've got this huge question mark in the secondary. These aren't just holes, my friends. They are craters in the depth chart.
All right, so path number one. This is the most straightforward approach. Take all that money you've just saved and go shopping on the free agent market for guys who've been there and done that. This is the classic win-now move. You are buying a known commodity. You're buying certainty. You know exactly what these guys bring to the table because you've seen them do it in the NFL for years. It's a low-risk strategy, but man, it is a high-cost one.
And first up to fill that linebacker spot is a name that every single Colts fan is going to recognize: Bobby Okereke. This is one of those moves that just makes almost too much sense. Remember, Okereke spent his first 4 years with the Colts. They drafted him, they developed him, before he went and got a massive payday from the Giants. Bringing him back would be a legitimate homecoming.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. Just look at the story these numbers tell. In fewer games with the Giants, only 46 compared to 64 in Indy, his production didn't just hold steady. It actually got better in a lot of ways. More tackles for loss. He suddenly added pass rushing to his game with 5.5 sacks. And he picked off more passes. He was arguably a better, more complete player in New York. Which means the Colts wouldn't just be getting the guy they let go, they'd be getting an upgraded version of him to quarterback their defense.
Okay, next up, that safety spot left by Nick Cross. Here, the Colts could go for a super steady, reliable veteran like Taylor Rapp. Now, he's not a flashy guy. He's not going to be on highlight reels every week. But what he is a smart, tough defender with a Super Bowl ring on his finger who's been a starter pretty much his entire career.
And this right here tells you everything you need to know about what he brings. That Super Bowl ring, that's not just some bling. That's big game experience. That's knowing what it takes to win when the lights are brightest. 72 starts means he's seen just about every offensive concept you can throw at him. And the production is always there, he's solid against the run, and he can make plays on the ball in the passing game. For young secondary, having a guy like Rapp is like having a coach on the field. He's the guy who prevents those back-breaking 60-yard touchdowns. Now, it is worth noting, he did miss 11 games last season with a knee injury. So that's a bit of a red flag, but it could also mean you get him at a discount.
And now, the big one. How in the world do you replace Michael Pittman Jr.? This is a huge task, but one potential answer out there is to make a massive splash and go sign 49ers receiver Juwan Jennings. Now, of all the veteran options we're talking about, this one is probably the most unlikely. But hey, if they could pull it off, the payoff could be enormous.
And this chart shows you exactly why.
Just look at this explosion in production. The last 2 seasons, Jennings has absolutely taken his game to another level. We're talking 132 catches, over 1,600 yards, and 15 scores. Come on. Those are not the numbers of a number 2 or number 3 receiver. Those are bona fide WR1 stats. He would walk into that Colts facility on day 1 and immediately be their top guy, no questions asked. He's a proven talent at the highest level.
Okay, so that's one way to do it. But now, let's completely flip the script. Let's talk about Path B, which is the total opposite philosophy. Forget the expensive veterans, and let's build this thing through the draft with young, cheap, high-upside talent. This is your classic high-risk, high-reward approach. You're betting on your scouts and your coaches to find and develop stars. So instead of a reunion with Bobby Okereke, the Colts could use a third-round pick on a linebacker like Josiah Trotter out of Missouri. Now, 2 things immediately jump out about Trotter. First, he's got an NFL bloodline, which is huge. And second, because of that, he has a super high football IQ. This isn't just a raw athlete. This is a guy who understands the game. He sees plays develop before they happen. He's rarely out of position. He's just one of those guys who has a natural feel for finding the football. He could be the kind of player who ends up wearing that green dot for your defense for the next decade.
And to replace Nick Cross in the secondary, they could wait till the 5th round and maybe unearth a diamond in the rough with Nebraska safety Deshaun Singleton. The key word with this guy is versatility. He can play that deep single-high safety role, he can drop down into the box and act like another linebacker against the run, he can even slide into the slot and cover shifty receivers. In today's NFL, where offenses are all about creating mismatches, having a defensive back who can wear that many hats is like finding gold. He's not just filling a position, he's a defensive chess piece.
And now, for the Pittman replacement, the draft alternative could be taking Ole Miss receiver Dejon Stribling in the 4th round. What's cool here is he's not just a carbon copy of Pittman. He brings a totally different element to the offense. Sure, he can be a reliable possession guy, but he also makes that receiver room way younger and, more importantly, way faster. And that kind of speed changes everything. It forces defenses to respect the deep ball, which opens up everything underneath. Plus, the kid is electric after the catch and is actually a really solid blocker. He represents an evolution at the position for the Colts.
All right, so we've laid out the 2 different playbooks, the veteran approach and the youth movement. Now let's put them side by side. Let's have them go head-to-head at these positions of need. This right here, this is the exact debate that is happening inside every single NFL war room this time of year.
At linebacker is the ultimate showdown of philosophies. In one corner, you've got Bobby Okereke. You know exactly what you're getting. Proven, reliable production. Plus, he already knows the building, knows the system. There's basically no learning curve. But he's going to cost you, and you pretty much know his ceiling. In the other corner, Josiah Trotter. All potential. Sky-high ceiling on a dirt-cheap rookie deal. But he's still a rookie. It's a projection. It's the classic battle. Do you want the safe floor or the risky, but potentially much higher ceiling?
And the receiver matchup is maybe even more dramatic. So what do? Do you write that massive check for Jauan Jennings to be your guaranteed number 1 guy from the second he walks in the door? Or do you draft Dejon Stribling and bet that your coaches can turn him into that guy over the next year or 2? Jennings is the now, Stribling is the future. Jennings is expensive, Stribling gives you 4 years of financial flexibility. It's a massive franchise-altering decision.
And this is the number that just hangs over this entire conversation. $20 million. That's the kind of money we're talking about per year for a receiver like Jauan Jennings. That one contract can completely hamstring your ability to do anything else with your roster for years. That's money you can't use to re-sign other guys or fix other weaknesses. It's just a gigantic number, and it makes the low cost of a 4th-round rookie look awfully tempting, doesn't it?
So, which path is the right one? After laying all this out, it kind of feels like an impossible choice, right? Well, what if I told you the smartest teams in the league don't just pick one? The real answer isn't about choosing path A or path B. It's about finding a strategic blend of both.
Yeah, the best way forward is almost always a hybrid model. You use your money in free agency like a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. You go out and sign a guy like Taylor Rapp to solidify the secondary. And maybe you bring back Bobby Okereke because you know he can lead the defense this season. Then you attack the draft to build your future. You still take a receiver like Stribling so he can develop into your WR1 without all that pressure on day 1. You take a shot on a versatile guy like Singleton to learn behind the vets. This is how you build a deep, competitive roster. The vets teach the rookies, and the rookies push the vets. It's how you win now and keep winning later.
Which brings us to our final question, and this one is for you. The pressure is on. Jobs are on the line. If you were sitting in the GM's chair, what's your move?
Do you go all in on the expensive, proven veterans to give yourself the best possible shot to win this season, or do you play the long game, invest in the draft, and build a younger, faster team, even if it means some growing pains this year? We want to hear your plan. Lay out your blueprint for the Colts right down there in the comments.
Thank you so much for hanging out and doing this deep dive on the Colts offseason with us. We absolutely love getting into the nitty-gritty of team building strategy. If you enjoy this stuff too, and you're looking for a really fun and easy way to support the channel, we've actually got something for you. We created a line of NFL coloring books. And I'm not kidding, they're perfect for everybody. Your kids, your grandkids, or heck, even for you to just chill out with.
They are a great way to unwind and show some love for your team. You can find the link for them right down in the description, or you can just pull out your phone and scan the QR code that's on the screen right now. Every little bit of support helps us keep making these explainers for you guys. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time here on NFL Nexus.